Hey guys, I'm dealing with a very rainy day today, so I've been trying to look through some things that I wanted to try to come across for Christmas gifts and just things I wanted to do myself. This project here I've been wanting to do for a while. Since I've been redecorating my walls, I've done some things different since I moved, and naturally everybody knows that the cotton blossom thing is a big thing right now. And every time I hear, oh, they got cotton blossoms here, they got cotton blossoms there, when I get there, they're already gone, or they're a place that's too expensive for my blood, or what have you. And I keep seeing these things where you can make them, and I've been foraging here for the past couple of weeks, and for different things that I like to hunt for, acorns and what have you. And I had actually got some pine cones a few weeks ago, and I stuck them in my windowsill because to me they break up better if you let them really get good and dried out good. So I broke them, I let them dry out real good, but then I'm breaking them up, and I've already got some laid out here. I don't know how well you can see, but what I'm doing is I'm breaking these bigger pieces off, and if you let it dry, like I said, I feel like it kind of breaks off a little better. Some people use little cutters to do this. I actually started out using cutters, but by the time I get in here, it's actually easier to do it with my hands. But anyway, after you can get some of those tore out, you can take some cotton balls, and I suggest small cotton balls. And I'm going to use 3. I see them a lot of times with 4, but due to me having to do it with the pine cones, because there's actually a shell off of a weed that is a shell that holds the seed pods inside. It's a pod that I would have preferred to use to do this, but it's one of them things that now that I'm looking for them, I can't find any. So I figure, well, they're actually a little bigger than these individual pine cone needles, or pine cone shells, I guess you would call them, are. Which they would be better. So you, if you kind of may have an idea of what I'm talking about there. If not, you can come up with different things. You can go forage and find different things, but they would be better if they're a little bit bigger than these are. But since this is what I've got, this is what I'm going to use. Anyway, take your 3 cotton balls, and I have simply just glued them together to where they made a form together. Because if you'll see natural cotton blossoms, like I said, usually it's 4, but due to the fact that these are smaller, I'm going to use only 3. Because there is sometimes 3 in a cotton blossom. And then you take your pine chips. I won't call them chips. I don't know what you want to call them. You take your glue gun as well, and you glue them on there. Now for me, I glued them in between the cracks of the 3, like right here, and then right here, and then right here. And when I did it, I did 2. That way they would look a little bigger and fuller than like a natural one would. And I will need to go outside and actually get me a branch. Just get you a branch that ain't too big, about the size for whatever you're wanting to use it for, whether you're wanting to put it in a vase or what have you. I actually have a wreath that I've made. Let me grab it. A wreath here that I've made from the wild grapevines. It's just out here, and I found these. I just stuck them in there for the moment. That's not their permanent dwelling, but I will probably incorporate some of them in this wreath before it's all said and done. But then I've made this. I've made several of these so I can use them around the different places of the house. And I got some ironweed this year. I had never tried this before, but sometimes I'll try different things, like different blooms of stuff. And if you're not sure what ironweed is, it's something in a lot of pasture fields and stuff you'll see that's tall. It comes out the same time that goldenrod does. And the goldenrod's the yellow ones, and these are the purple ones. And the cattle won't eat the purple ones. They'll eat the yellow ones, but they won't eat the purple ones. So usually you'll see the purple ones still hanging out in pasture fields. And I thought, well, those look to me like if they dried, they wouldn't flake too bad. So I let one dry, and it didn't. It ain't flaking real bad. It is some, but not bad. And it's still got like it's a deeper purple now that it's dried, but it'll be good to stick in different arrangements and stuff. I don't know that I'm going to stick it in this one, but I stuck it in there to dry, so that's where he hung out at. But then I'll get my cotton blossoms, and I'll put incorporate my cotton blossoms within my wreath. These wreaths are very easy to make. Maybe I'll try to do one on that. One of my daughters is wanting me to make her one. I'm going to decorate this one for in here, and I've got another one that I'm going to decorate for Christmas to put on my fencing around the chicken coop. So I'll try to do a thing to let you see how that's going to turn out to be whenever it's all said and done. But these are so simple to make, and I love them. I love the whole rustic idea of them. But that's how you can do these. Or you can take the twigs, like I was going to say first, and put them on the actual twigs out in the yard and bring them in and put them in a vase, or however you want to do them. And then you got your little cotton blossoms that you've made yourself. There's very little money involved in this, and you can probably even find something better than these are good, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to think that these pine cones didn't do a good job for what they did, because they did. But you get in your head where you see things. I've seen those seed pods 50 million times all over the place, and I've never really foraged for them before, but I always thought that would be cool for something. But I never did grab any, but now I wish I had. But those would be better than these would be. So that's just a little project you can do. And another thing about this too is I heard my sister just recently moved. So she's redoing her kitchen to do something different and so on and so forth. And I heard her talking to my niece the other day. She says, you reckon, because we was talking about cotton blossoms and stuff. And she says, you reckon those will look good in a kitchen? And I thought, that's a Christmas idea. So I'm probably going to make my sister something along these lines for Christmas, because that would make a really cool Christmas present in my opinion. And the same goes for these wreaths. If you have any wild grapevines around your house, or if you have grapevines that you need to prune up or whatever, you could use just them. It don't matter what kind of grapevine, as long as they're, a vine that will twine good. And it's better to do it green, because it's easier to get into your shapes like you want to get them into, and let them dry. I've still got pieces of leaves that's drying in these, but I like that. I like the idea of that. And I love the little curlies that you get. If you can see my little curlies, don't know if you can or not, but I love to see all those little curlies and stuff too. And these I got at the Dollar Tree. Actually, they've got burlap on them, so I thought, well, that might be good to stick with all this, because I've kind of got the naturey thing going on now anyway. But they give you an idea, guys. I hope you can use that for Christmas ideas, or just for your own house, what have you. I'm sorry that I've got my dehydrator sitting here, because I've got ginger in it dehydrating for me. If you've never dehydrated ginger, it's going to be one of them things you're going to think, oh my goodness, because you'll have a big old bulb of the ginger, and by the time you cut it up and dehydrate it and then pulverize it, I use my mortar and pestle, and I ground it into powder, and by the time I do that, you've got this little bit of ginger, and you're thinking, all of that for that, but that shows you how concentrated your powdered ginger will be, so keep that in mind if you ever do that. But it's a really good thing to do, a good way to keep my ginger, because I'm bad to let my ginger sit around and get too bad if I ain't careful, so I just go ahead and dehydrate it. That way I don't have to worry about that. And sometimes I'll let it go ahead and get some eyes on it, and you can plant it in some dirt. Don't plant it too deep if you do decide to do that. If you start getting eyes on your ginger, even ginger if you buy it from the grocery store, you can even get organic ginger at our local grocery store, not a fancy grocery store. And you see eyes coming out, let them come out. Let them come out. And stick them in some dirt. You don't bury them real deep, but if you stick them in some dirt, then they'll grow, and there you have your own ginger plant going. I guess that's about all I wanted to share right now, but I didn't even plan to share that one. I just know I had it sitting here, so I thought I'd tell you. God bless you guys. I hope these give you ideas for these rainy days and these foggy, yucky days that's ahead of us. But find joy in them and know that spring will be here before we know it. Anyway, God bless you guys. Thank you for watching.